Man, it's such a sense of deja vu, starting an episode across from Prisoner 89.
I wonder how we started episode 21.
Like this! Greetings, gentle viewers! We're sitting here talking to Prisoner 89. Speaking of a bunch of dumb stuff no one cares about, we're the Bittersweet Gamers.
Okay. We're done. We're back! Billy! Do you have anything to say?
I'll never say anything like that again, and I apologize for my past indiscretions.
And I'm the opinionator!
I can't feel my jaw.
So this whole scene may be the same as it was just a couple episodes ago, but it could be all different.
The man known as number 89 is sitting right in front of me.
This is gonna be a long day.
You're telling me. So what's your name?
Number 89.
Your real name?
I don't know, I forgot.
Same old, same old? So where are you from?
Burkina Faso.
Djibouti.
Very good.
You leave my booty out of this.
Northeast Africa, a small republic of roughly 900,000.
I don't take kindly to stupid lies.
I'll accept smart ones, though. How many people have you killed?
I don't know. It's not like I'm counting.
Do you count the number of breads you have eaten?
You thought it was a reference, but it was I, Dio.
Why did you call So Sejima's secretary?
Oh, you know about that.
That's why you're here.
It's true. I called Sejima's secretary. I got him on the line and I told him something very important.
You spoke with him directly?
Yeah.
What did you tell him?
I told him to call somebody.
Somebody?
Oh?
Told him to call Shoko, huh?
Huh.
I can't tell you anymore.
Remember that we found out from Hitomi that Shoko was meeting number 89.
Yeah. What can you tell me about Shoko's murder?
All right. Let's get back to the topic at hand. 2 days ago, you called our investigation office.
In fact, we're about to flash back to it right now.
You said you know who killed Shoko Nadami.
That's right.
Who?
Hey, don't be so hasty. We haven't agreed on a deal. You're gonna let me out of prison, right?
Yes, I promise.
And I will totally uphold that promise.
You're lying.
Last time he didn't just shoot him down instantly, but waited until he was dangling the goods in front of him, then whoop, jerked him right out from in front of his face, like playing with a cat.
You don't want to release me.
Yeah, this time he was just like, yeah, screw you, buddy.
Good talk.
That's fine. I was expecting this anyway. I just wanted a good excuse to leave the prison.
What do you mean?
You really want to know?
Yes? I feel like something's about to happen.
Here's what I mean!
What the hell? Great job, Date.
Oh!
You'll make a good hostage for me.
Well, this is bad!
Take me to the exit. Now.
If Date couldn't stop him when he was cuffed and in the interrogation room, there ain't anything he can do about him now!
Right?
Oh, darn.
Darn!
So he just let you go when he left? Okay.
Are you kidding me?
Well, he didn't want to make it worse.
Fair point.
A criminal serving a life sentence just escaped from Metro Police. I ordered everyone to keep quiet about this, but it's only a matter of time before the press sniffs this out.
So now we've got to go get him.
Yeah.
And where's he gonna go?
Kumakurt. No, he wouldn't go there. That's ridiculous.
Pretty sure he might stop by a certain house we've been to recently.
Oh, that's a good point.
We need to get number 89 back before then.
Here's how we can stop him. Throw Okonomiyaki on his head.
Brilliant.
Seriously, if Date would have been like, hey, by the way, Hitomi Sagan is a good friend of mine, and I'm also a good friend of her daughter, I doubt that would have happened, or at least quite like that, but of course.
Very possibly.
Well, if he even remembers.
That's true. Well, no, doesn't she visit him?
Well, that's because she remembers. It doesn't necessarily mean that he would.
That's a good point.
Well, anyway, I only hope this doesn't end in tragedy. I don't think he's gonna do anything crazy, but I hope Date doesn't do anything crazy.
Yeah.
You know what else I'm thinking? It's been far, far, far too long since we looked at the 44 objects in this room, or 46 counting Pewter and Boss.
47 if you count Date.
You know, we can't look at Date right now. Is there something you're trying to express, Billy?
Great disdain.
I'll just go get you some bourbon then.
Please do.
I really like chairs.
Four things I've looked at so far. Where's my bourbon?
They look delicious.
Now, don't you start, Pewter.
So now you're ogling me too?
Okay, I'll stop.
There are wine bottles lined up.
Date, Pewter. Once we're done here, let's pop that bottle.
I don't drink wine. I drink bourbon!
Not a bad idea.
But when the boss gets drunk, she has the tendency to crush balls.
Why do you know that?
In that case, perhaps we should never solve this case.
Says the ball.
Give us your piercing insights, Mario.
I want to go to Susukino.
My life has been enriched.
You can crush these balls if you want, boss.
Spiking is an important part of volleyball. Spiking. Spike Chun?
Never heard of it.
What is that?
Subtlety at its finest.
Wait a minute, did you let number 89 escape on purpose?
Yes, I let him get up and beat the snot out of me on purpose.
So that you could catch the bigger fish?
Yeah, boss. Exactly.
I hate both of you.
I was kidding.
Boss, I turned your stationary bike into a coffee grinder.
Hey, that's actually really useful, extremely practical. I think that's brilliant.
Time to market the plan.
You use the pedals to grind the beans.
Why the hell did you do that?
Now she has to actually use it.
Yeah, I think that's great. Give yourself a good 20-minute bike and grind your fresh coffee.
Date, look. A UFO.
What? Where?
That's a symbol.
I really like chairs. They look delicious. Now that we've given number 89 enough time to get away...
Where's my gun?
What?
Number 89 still has it.
Uh-huh.
But don't worry. I have a spare. I'll give it to you later.
I wonder if number 89 can use it. Does it require Aiba in order to actually fire in the first place?
It activated and unfolded.
That's true.
How did he get away?
He beat everybody up and left with Pewter as a hostage?
He punched out an officer and stole his clothes.
Okay.
He put on the uniform and brought me with him at gunpoint. Well, he had the gun in his pocket, hiding it. No one on the floor even knew this was happening. He got on the elevator and made it to the ground floor. He even stole my security card. He said he'd kill me if I tried anything. I suppose the whole escape took him about, 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah? So, what you're saying is he knew the layout of the place?
Seemed to, huh?
Knew that he needed a security card to get out?
Yes. By the way, your insinuation, I too am a fellow insinuator. I also sinuate the sinuations.
Daymon, that's not allowed on YouTube.
He must have planned this.
Delicious.
You're rather calm about all this.
I'm coming down from being terrified for my life. I'm in a bit of a fugue state right now.
Uh-huh. Where is number 89?
Who the heck knows?
How would I know?
You didn't have some sort of handy, convenient tracking device you could have flipped on him without him knowing? You're a mad scientist, you know.
Aiba, I mean, you were tracking So's phone. What about the Evolver?
Hey, yeah!
After he got to the exit, he let me go. I didn't see where he went. I collapsed right there.
You'd think that there would be some sort of tracking device in the Evolver.
Apologize or don't apologize, huh? There are merits to both. I shall leave the decision to you and question it not, and I will only make fun of you if Date makes a fool of himself.
I'd better apologize, because there was no excuse for him getting the drop on Date.
Boss, it's my fault he got away. I'm sorry.
Don't waste time apologizing.
Oh, well, fine. I'll just reload the save and just not apologize then.
Go catch him. I'm the one who has to go on an apology tour now.
Yeah.
You really messed up this time.
The joys of a politics-y job.
Now that we've established who's at fault, let's summarize some more.
Date, I know you are already aware of this, but there are security cameras all over this compound. I checked all of them.
They showed the player, Falco, in one of the scenes with Hitomi, as well as that big hullabaloo with the picture right before this happens.
Yeah.
Just pointing that out.
Number 89 fled in a car that was waiting for
That was
him.
waiting for him!
Oh, yeah?
So he had an accomplice.
Yes,
Did you see who was driving?
I did.
Hitomi?
Who was it?
You and I know him well.
Renju?
Renju?
Well, well, well.
What is going on? I told Boss and Pewter what Aiba revealed to me.
Renju?
Why?
I have no surprises at the connection, but...
Date, Moma is calling.
Moma? From the
Oh,
Kumakuras?
good job, dude.
I'll connect him.
Held up his end of the bargain.
Hey, Date. I just got the word. Renju's been seen.
What? Where?
Hey, don't forget our deal.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Especially since she's still alive.
Deal? What deal?
You forgot already?
Yeah, it is fine. Date will uphold his end of the bargain. It is not difficult. You will not be displeased, so get on with it.
I'm talking about Tessa.
Oh, right.
I'll be waiting. You know what to do.
What should we do?
We have no choice. We have to take her.
To Moma?
Yes.
I'm here for the date.
Oh, no!
Well, no, what's going to happen is we're going to show up and we're going to see her being carried away by a man in a hoodie.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
thank goodness she's okay.
For now?
Well, listen, I know that there is supposed to be this big thing with the date, but come on, we gotta go meet the Yakuza.
What?
Late. You're late.
Date can spin this into the best date ever. Come on, you have to help me go catch a mad assassin. Better bring her with him. He'd better.
That makes sense, yeah.
Because if they actually run into him, it's the best thing that could happen. I don't think he'll stop, but he's certainly not going to hurt anybody at this point.
Uh-huh.
Well, I mean, you know what I'm saying, but words, they're not really coming out of my mouth.
Oh, they are, just not in a very organized fashion.
I'm going home.
Never! Have you forgotten the vows you exchanged?
Yeah, with Moma, let's go.
Are you drunk?
No, of course not.
Doing your best receptionist impersonation, I see.
You're drunk.
I kid. I'm kidding! I can't believe I'm gonna shovel forge with you. I'm getting excited!
Oh my god, what does Shovel Forge mean? Is that what the kids are calling it these days?
We are not shovel forging.
We're going to catch a freaking assassin. Now come with me to meet the Yakuza.
I was talking about the date, silly.
Shovel Forge and a date are synonymous, apparently.
So where are we going?
Oh, is that my problem?
Excuse me?
Go to the flowchart. Okay, it's just that I don't quite know what to do here. What I mean is, should we carry her off to Moma? Or should we blow him off?
Well, we kind of need to take her there to get the information for the investigation.
But we could take her somewhere else, too.
Yeah, but here's the thing. If we take her to the Kumakuras, do you really think number 89 is going to be anywhere near them? Let's go to where the dragon is.
Then I realized that all 4 of these places are the exact same thing.
I realized it too as soon as you pointed it out.
To meet the dragon.
The dragon? Like that dragon?
I am the eternal dragon.
Yeah, what he said, that's the one.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it. Like a fantasy world with swords and magic. And you're gonna teleport me there.
I will teleport you there the way all people are teleported. In a car.
Woohoo! I'm getting fired up!
She didn't completely understand, but I didn't have time to care. I took Iris to the Kumakuras.
Ooh, look at the dragon! So cool!
Now start playing some music, Moma.
So, this is a crime syndicate building, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Kumakuras.
And you were trying to make me believe this was some kind of fantasy world?
No, that was all on you.
No, that's what you thought.
Date lied to me!
Doesn't she just seem a lot younger on this side of the flowchart?
For one, she's gone an awfully long time without being horribly murdered or having an eye removed. She's also just got done performing, so I don't know, maybe that has something to do with it. Also, she didn't murder anyone else, as far as we know.
Okay, fair point.
Date, you bastard! You made Tessa cry!
You're right. I made her cry. I must be punished. Why don't you just tell me the information that I want to know? Because that's the worst thing you could do to me right now.
Mister, save me! Throw this man into Tokyo Bay!
15 years later, Moma still pulls out his cell phone with the recording of Iris saying, "Mister, save me."
Got it! I'll have him sleeping with the fishes.
This is an interesting turn of events.
What has my life come to?
I can hardly believe it. Moma, I held up my end of the deal.
You sure did! You want to hear about Renju?
Mr. Okiura?
Interesting how Date ends up with a pretty decent relationship with the Kumakuras in every route.
Right?
Poor thing. What you did to that tiger is awful.
Oh, that's fake.
A leather sofa.
How many cows did they kill for this?
It's a fake?
He's trying so hard, but he doesn't know what to say.
Lanterns.
Hey, Iris, what do you think of when you see 2 lanterns pushed together?
Date, please.
Huh?
I mean, it kind of looks like something, right?
I like him big, Date.
Not really.
No, really. Picture 2 lanterns pushed together, and you put your face between them.
Hey, don't make me come over there and slap the stupid out of you.
There's something that reminds you of?
Lanterns.
What, you mean boobs?
Damn it, Moma. You're not supposed to say it.
The joke is to trick the idol into saying perverted things.
Oh man, I'm really sorry. I wish I could have done this properly. Do you think it's too late to start this over?
Yes.
You don't even know how much of this innuendo we've cut out unless you've played.
I'm so very sorry.
You are not.
Sorry for bringing you here.
It's okay.
Huh.
You don't have to be scared, Tessa. We're not thugs. We're just a gang.
About as contradictory as meatless beef.
Look, she doesn't have to be scared around them at all.
Yeah.
She doesn't need to hang out over here, but literally nothing will happen to her anywhere within the sphere of their control.
Hey, Tessa, we got a Gatling gun. You want to take a look at it?
The old boss was really violent.
Did you like how Moma's eyes grew big and soulful for a brief second when he said that, and then they narrowed back down to points?
He He would take a cheese grater to someone's leg if they looked at him funny.
You know what Moma's doing right now?
What?
I'll show you. It's a great visual gag for the audience. Sorry, everybody. Oh, whoa.
Ew!
Whoa.
That can't taste good.
Whoa.
Stop it!
Anyway, that's Moma right now. Yeah.
Was the joke worth it?
No, it tasted bad the last time I did it. It tasted even worse this time. Yeah.
But after I took over, we went crystal clean.
I need some water.
Crystal.
Methamphetamines.
No, we don't do drugs. We don't deal with that stuff.
Winners don't do drugs. Stay in school, kids.
We had to restructure the whole operation. Cut a lot of people off.
I forgot to talk for the first half of this sentence.
Yeah, right? I was like, what is going on? Did the game freeze?
Cut?
Their throats.
No, not like that.
The thing is Moma is like way more the legitimate type.
Yeah. This is Moma.
Oh yeah, I haven't introduced this old man yet.
I'm 24.
Moma is lying. He is at least 48.
Absolutely.
Sorry for not introducing myself.
I love it. I love the soulful eyes and the change in expression.
My name is Moma Kumakura. I work for a prestigious advertising agency.
And I just realized he's talking different too.
Uh-huh.
You run the Kumakura gang, right? You're like a mob boss.
How did you know that?
We've already been through this.
Is he stupid?
This is Moma. What?
Moma
Still.
may not look it, but he's a huge ASET fan.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I'm a huge fan.
Now let's see what's behind the crest behind you.
Gambling.
Bet, debt, ASAP!
Worries.
Forget, fret, ASAP!
Now what does she say?
ASAP, you bet!
Wow, my catchphrase! Thank you!
This is amazing.
This is kind of embarrassing.
That's why I sent those other two mooks out of here.
But sorry, Moma. I don't like gangsters.
And he is crushed and despondent and will now go and kill himself.
I don't like gangsters either. Gangsters are awful. All those nasty Yakuza guys should drop dead, am I right?
So about Renju.
What happened to Mr. Okiura?
I don't know why I'm asking you. I'm here to learn it from Moma.
I heard he escaped the hospital.
So did I.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I need some more water. Hold on.
Better?
Yes.
Quit sticking your stinky frickin' foot in your stinky frickin' mouth.
Yes, sir.
But I don't know anything more than that.
Please tell me.
Renju's escape from the hospital was strange. 3 things stuck out to me.
He was seriously injured in a car crash, and I can't think of anything else. One thing you could say is he escaped the hospital, but that's not strange. That's normal.
I laid out the facts. Mizuki was lured to the place where Shoko's body was found by a message sent from Renju's phone. I found Iris's body in Okiura Fishery Cold Storage Warehouse. Earlier today, Renju fled with a prisoner escaping a life sentence, an assassin named Number 89.
Hold up. What were you saying about Tessa's dead body?
Don't worry about it.
Oh, well...
Date saw a parallel world with my dead body in it.
Yes, that.
A parallel world?
Is this some new play or something?
Never heard of it?
Oh, yeah, of course I have. Yeah, right. Parallel worlds and all that shit. Yeah.
I don't understand it, but I suppose he does.
Good, because I don't feel like explaining it.
El Psi Kongru.
I will pie that kangaroo.
But why would Mr. Okiura do that?
I don't know. He could be a hostage or an accomplice.
Or a ghost, for all we frickin' know.
Either way, I need to find him.
Which leads us to... Screwing with Moma. That's an expensive looking ring.
Why do you care?
Can I have it?
What?
But...
Can I have the ring?
Why would I give it to you?
Hey, can I have the ring?
Yes.
Anything you want.
Absolutely, of course you can. Here, take it. Wait, no. I can't give you this.
You're so cheap.
That's so mean!
Come on, it's not like you're losing it.
It's exactly like I'm losing it.
Aww.
You guys are a good team. Like siblings.
And Moma has cemented his place as like my second or third favorite character in this game.
So, where's Tweedledee and Tweedledum?
He got rid of him, of course.
They're out. Looking for Renju.
Oh, okay.
Besides, I can't have them here seeing me like this.
Good point.
About the Renju tip.
Hold on. Sorry, you'd think I'd learned by now.
Will you stop putting your foot in your mouth?
But I put my foot in my mouth on this channel all the time!
Figuratively, not literally. Anyway, something, where's Renju?
You said on the phone that you saw Renju.
Yeah, I had all my people looking for him.
He really wanted this introduction.
So, tell me where he is.
I could.
Hey, I held up my end.
Now make your dance.
I brought Iris like you asked.
Date, come here.
Yeah? Moma took me to the corner of the room.
What are you gonna say?
Date, I don't quite know how to ask this, but...
He just wants her to sing a song and dance.
That's fair.
Can you ask Tessa if I can shake her hand, please?
Really? That's it?
That's surprisingly tame.
Oh, that's it? Sure.
Moma and I broke our huddle.
Iris, could you do me a favor?
A favor?
He wants to see your boobs.
Hold on.
No, David, no! No, don't!
What the fuck, dude? I didn't say that!
Oh, sorry. What I meant was, he wants to shake your hand.
Oh, a handshake. Sure. I would never show my boobs.
Iris took Moma's hand gently and shook it.
I don't think that worked.
Date, this is the happiest day of my life. It feels good to be the boss.
So how about it?
All right, here it goes. Renju was seen in 2 places.
At the same time, don't ask me how that works.
Maybe you can say that was good for Date, because he got Moma to be like, what the fuck, dude, I did not ask for that. That's the best I got. Either that or Date was just being kind of like a loser perv.
Little from column A, little from column B.
I'm thinking a whole lot from column P.
Column P?
For perv.
Ah, my apologies.
What did you think I was talking about? Move the heck on!
First, Sunfish Pocket, the maid cafe.
Makes sense, he owns it.
Second, Ikume Shrine.
Why there?
I don't know, but it seems to tie into a lot of things.
Right.
Sunfish Pocket and Akume Shrine.
That must have been for Falco.
Ah!
Got it. Thanks.
I'm not sure that Falco remembers anything. He might not. We don't know. He says
he did tell the story about meeting Hitomi and all that stuff in the other room.
Who knows? He acts like he doesn't remember anything, but that could be entirely an act.
Yeah.
But whether he remembers anything or not, it would make sense that he'd go back to a place that he has kind of a strong attachment to.
Yeah.
No problem, bro. Really.
All right, Moma. Time to be a big boy. Summarize for me.
Anyway, Moma, take care of Iris for me.
What?
You're leaving her here?
In a way, this is one of the safest places she can be.
While that's true, it would really be great if Iris were to come along while we're trying to find Falco.
I agree with you, but...
What? Wait! You're leaving me here?
You'll be safe with him.
Why do you... That's true, but why do you keep leaving minors with criminals?
I never realized before. Oh my god.
You'll be safe!
Are you serious? Look at his face!
It's the face I was born with.
Not to mention he runs a crime syndicate. What if he sells me to the highest bidder?
I am the highest bidder.
Tessa, I would never do that! I told you, we're clean now. We all go home on time, we follow government regulations.
See ya.
Wait! What about Shovel Forge?
Play with him, he'll love it!
Yeah! I bet he's got an account and everything.
I told you I never promised to play with you.
But you promised me a date!
Date! Is this true? You son of a bitch!
But he's leaving her with you instead! Isn't that good?
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna ignore that.
Good idea.
Date, you're gonna look for Mr. Okiura, right? Take me with you!
Take her!
If you do, I'll tell you about last night.
Her late night visitor.
Oh.
Fine.
Yay!
Date, don't ignore me!
I'm gonna ignore you.
A clean gang?
Oh, that's just a toy.
Oh, just a toy.
Let's leave them alone for a while.
We have 2 places to check. Sunfish Pocket and Ikume Shrine.
I want to go to the warehouse, too.
Can we just take Moma?
Why not? Well, I mean, I know why not, because game, but...
Where you found my dead body.
Something bothering you?
No, I'm just curious.
Yeah, come on!
Oh, and one more thing.
Yes?
Can we eat somewhere?
That sounds like a good plan.
Food sounds good. I haven't eaten in a while.
Oh, my chest hurts. Getting hard to breathe.
Are you about to die from fox die?
Bear! Die!
Poor guy. Hope he gets better. We're out!
I saw it. I'm sure. Your corpse, Iris. Right here.
But I'm here now. Maybe I'm a ghost.
Woo!
That's actually kind of cute.
You don't look like a floating sheet. You have legs.
But maybe they're not legs. Maybe they're my boobs.
Tried to picture Iris's breast swinging down there like that.
I couldn't help it because, you know, it was suggested to me that I should do so.
And then I decided not to.
I wish that I could have, you know, done that.
Didn't you say that you saved me in your dream? What did you mean by that?
I told you that I'm with an organization called Abyss, right?
Yeah, you told me 2 days ago.
We find clues in the minds of suspects and witnesses. We enter what we call a somnium, a dream world projected by their subconscious. That's what the entire organization is about.
How do you even do that?
We have a machine that we call the sync machine.
What is that?
It's a machine that sinks. Pay attention.
It's a sync machine.
That's not an explanation.
That was a very good explanation, Billy.
Tell me how it works.
I don't know!
Well, I can explain, but it will require a bit of background to understand.
I'm a computer.
Background?
A wooden box on the shelf.
Pew pew.
Oh, she's so cool.
What the hell?
The box made me think of like a giant robot.
A what?
You know, from kaiju movies.
Well, not from kaiju movies. More like from robot anime, but that's fine. She's still cool.
Again, what?
So my corpse was on here?
Yeah.
And that's it?
Okay. Do you know about nanotechnology?
Nanotech? Yeah. Technology related to really small things. Like really teeny tiny things.
It's good to see you using proper terminology.
And when they make a machine, they're called nanomachines. I heard they use them a lot for medical and tech fields. Some of the cutting-edge nanomachines can even go inside your body and cure illnesses. They can even cure cancer. And they go beep, beep, beep. That's what Mom said. Well, I don't know if it was like beep, beep or
okay.
This is not a detail we need to be too concerned about. Moving on.
But anyway, nanotechnology costs tons of money. Only a few people can even afford it. My college professor said only the richest of the rich have nanotechnology. But he's pretty liberal, so...
Largely accurate. Nano is a prefix meaning 10 to the negative 9th power. A nanometer is therefore 0.0000000001 meters. The sync machine uses machines approximately 2.16 nanometers long. Viruses are on average 20 to 970 nanometers, so sync nanomachines are far smaller than that. This allows them to access neural circuitry.
Huh.
During a sync, the nanomachines are used to write in the syncer's data.
Do you know about the Better Business Bureau?
I've heard of it. The blood-brain barrier, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Inside the skull, there's an army of little teeny tiny soldiers that surround the brain.
I guess that's one way to look at it. I don't actually recall how big it is, though.
They protect the brain from bad stuff in the blood, right?
That's almost it, yeah.
The blood-brain barrier describes the architecture of the microvessels of the brain. It is a kind of shield that protects the brain. To get through, an object must be no larger than 0.4 nanometers. Objects too large to slip through the barrier cannot physically access the brain.
Do you know about the Wadjet system?
I guess not.
I have a feeling she might know a little bit about Wadjet.
With all the Egyptian mythology.
No, I know what it is.
You do?
It's the core programming behind AI, right?
That's right. What's wrong?
What?
You're shivering.
Huh.
It's nothing. Don't worry about it.
No, I don't think you can get away with that.
To borrow Pewter's explanation,
That seems pretty important.
with the advent of the Wadjet system, we can extract the data of the human psyche.
I certainly remember that in my exposure to the very first marketing for this game, that A-Set was billed as an AI idol.
Really?
There wouldn't be some giant plot twist like that, and that would be super out of nowhere.
Huh.
The fact that it was in the initial marketing might actually
be kind of like a meta reference or something like that, maybe?
This data is sent to the brain, which achieves the sync.
And here's how sync works.
Okay, you have the basics down. Let me explain how syncing works. Syncers like me equip the sync gear and use it to access the subject's brain. Inside the helmet are nanocables. And on the tip of each of these cables is a special nanomachine. But the machine can't reach the brain through blood alone. Do you know why?
The BBB soldiers say, go away, and push them back?
Well, yeah, kind of. But for the sync to work, we have to get the nanomachines into the brain itself.
So this is an Uchikoshi info dump. I don't know what else to call it. In pretty much all of his games, he has these long sections where he discusses technology or concepts or theories kind of out of nowhere and at great length.
Yeah.
And they're normally really, really fascinating, But this one, for some reason, just doesn't have the same appeal that the others do.
Maybe because we didn't do it first, and we kind of have already been exposed to the sync machine over and over and over, and so it's kind of less mysterious, maybe?
Maybe.
How do we do that?
Drill a hole in the skull?
Ah, trepidation.
No.
In Shovel Forge, you can use a pickaxe and...
No, it has nothing to do with tools. We don't have to open a hole. Skulls already have holes in them.
Yeah, pores are huge if you were talking about 0.2 nanometers.
Yeah.
One of those holes is the optic canal, which is a nerve canal located behind the eyes. The nanocables of the sync gear go through your eyes.
Well, that certainly explains a lot.
Then go to the back of your eye socket. Then through the optic canal to the sea.
The sea?
The sea of brain cells, anyway.
That sounds kind of romantic.
It's only a chunk of protein.
Continuing the explanation.
Once the nanocables arrive at their destination, they can begin the sync process. They slide into the brain like roots of a tree.
I'm sorry, but this is terrifying. That the machine works like this.
And on the tip of each cable, the nanomachine sends and receives data. This is controlled by the Wadjet system. And that's how the syncer and the subject exchange information.
Okay.
Exchange?
Essentially what it means is that the advent of understanding a neural network was able to both lead to the creation of an artificial neural network, like an AI, and to accessing an actual neural network, which is kind of interesting that they're connected like that.
Yeah.
Think of it this way. The human brain has a max capacity of one psyche, one consciousness.
Multiple instances of consciousness inside one brain can cause a total collapse of higher brain functions.
And now we're getting into multiple personalities.
You know how a car only has one steering wheel? If there were two, there would be accidents all over the place.
Well, if I understand it correctly, there's not a lot of proof that anything like a multiple personality disorder actually exists, though it's great for fiction.
Right.
Well, don't some planes have 2 control sticks?
Well, yeah, but that's because if something happens to the pilot, the co-pilot can take over.
Okay, maybe it wasn't the best metaphor. What I'm trying to say is that the human body can only hold one person. If you try to have 2 people inside one brain, it will break.
Like losing memories, for instance.
I see.
Oh, that's why you might only have about 6 minutes or something?
Because of this, the syncer's data goes inside the subject's brain. And the only thing inside the subject's mind at the time of the sync are their memories.
Make sure to mention what happens if you pass the time limit, please.
Like a house with no one inside. We syncers break into the house, look for clues, and leave. All within 6 minutes.
There's a time limit?
Yeah, I was about to say, why 6 minutes?
Yes, or else the house will collapse on our heads.
The neural circuits would become too deeply entwined with one another. To put it simply, the syncer would be trapped inside the subject's house.
And let us not forget that the very first Somnium was of a house.
Yeah, and some of Falco's memories. So doesn't that mean that Date's missing memories are inside Falco?
Or something like that?
And does that mean that Falco's missing memories are inside Date?
Time to summarize.
Thank you for explaining it. I don't completely understand how sync works, but still.
Just don't tell anyone. This is extremely confidential.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting.
It's okay, I won't. Date, tell me this. Who did you sync with yesterday?
Didn't I show you his picture? Congressman So Sejima.
Okay, how's she gonna react to this?
So that's why you know so much about him.
But you've never met him, right?
I haven't, I swear. Hey, Date, you saw my corpse here, right?
I did. I'm sure of it.
And in SoStream, you saved me from getting killed.
Yeah.
And then somehow, I resurrected.
That does appear to be what happened.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about the Egyptian mythology thing.
Uh-huh.
I'm not gonna waste any time on it right now, but I imagine that when I am editing this episode, I will pay close attention to some of the things that they say about syncing.
Did something pop up, or like in your brain, or?
You know, saying it like that, considering what we've been discussing, is an unfortunate choice of words. Just makes me wonder some more about the name Wadjet system. Why exactly is it named that? And is there some other way to extrapolate from that what this current phenomenon that they're talking about might be?
Yeah.
Date, that means you're...
Resurrection was, of course, something that was in these Egyptian myths that, I was talking about before.
Right.
Achoo!
Date, is the cold too much for Iris?
Well, she's got a jacket on. She's fine, right?
Yeah, I'm freezing too.
She's not wearing any pants.
Iris, let's get out of here for now.
Roger that.
Even though you were probably about to say something really important that was a really big clue. So, Daymon, before we move on,
Yeah?
something occurred to me.
Oh no.
How does the sync machine work again? It creates a connection between two people using what?
Nanomachines, your eye.
Uh-huh. Who else have we seen with a supposed ability to influence an individual's thought processes by making eye contact?
Well, there was that whole, I'll just take this floral knife that is very dear to you right now in your moment of anger.
That's all. I just wanted to point that out, because when we mentioned the Wadjet system, Iris reacted in an unusual way.
That is true. That is true.
And now it's time to make Ota's day.
I mean, can we even get food here? Isn't this really just a visit to see Ota?
That's a good point.
I'm so hungry.
Then again, do we know that this diner isn't open on this route?
Tessa? Why are you here?
I told Date I was hungry, so...
I've always wanted to eat here.
I'll have my usual, Ota.
Well, I guess they're gonna eat here then.
Okay.
Yes, right away.
Ota flew into the kitchen.
I mean, technically, I guess it is open. It's just there's no customers.
Well, now there is. Iris watched him go and took a seat. Your mother's not home, is she, Ota? I'd hate for her to come screaming out of the kitchen with the butcher knife.
Oh no, she'd come screaming out of the kitchen with a knife, all right, but it wouldn't be a butcher knife. She would wield her love as if it were the veritable sword of Damocles. Her love being her knife.
Yeah, I gathered that, yes.
Okay, that's good. Thank you.
A beer ad on the wall.
Date, you're drooling.
Beer. And that's the only thing I'm drooling over.
Oh, I'm just really hungry.
Hungry for something, all right.
Hey, Tessa, could you kick that bucket there?
That is not the kind of comment to be making on this route.
Sure. Like this?
Yeah, but more.
Like this?
Why?
This is awesome!
Ota, are you okay?
I did not realize there was someone more perverted than Date.
I can't even begin to fathom that.
I'm not going to try. If I do, I'll just end up putting my foot in my mouth again.
An old CRT television.
Hey, Date, I've got this video of girls in bikinis washing this armored car. Wanna watch?
That's not bad.
Absolutely not.
What? Okay, no walk. Coast is clear.
A kid's chair.
Look, a chair for baby goats.
Well, that is a kid, yeah.
Why would anyone bring a goat to a restaurant?
Well, to eat it.
Oh, God!
Oh, come on. I've had goat within the last 8 months. You know, come to think of it, I said I ate some grilled alligator, I think, in the last episode.
Right.
I eat some weird things.
Where's your mom, Ota?
She's in the living room. I think she's watching TV.
Oh, You're that Perry Mason!
How about you? What are you doing here?
He's cooking at the moment.
I was just doing some meditation, lying on the ground.
Napping.
He means sleeping.
Date, why are you with Tessa?
We're hunting an assassin.
We are.
Not Shovel Forge.
On a date.
Oh, a date. Huh.
Ota then pulls out, like, a small vial of arsenic.
A date?
I'm on an investigation, and she wouldn't let me go.
Which is kind of a date from a certain point of view.
Date, I have some delicious fugu eggs. I promise they're not poisoned. Would you like some?
No thanks. I'm fine.
You're good at cooking, huh?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
My dad taught me when I was little.
You're making me something too, right?
No.
Sure. My treat, Date.
Fugu eggs.
He pulls out that small bottle of arsenic.
I don't know why I'm asking you this, but have you seen Renju anywhere?
Oh yeah, at Sunfish Pocket the other day.
Oh, good point. I forgot about that.
You're still looking for him? Well, like I told you before, I don't know.
What is your usual?
Omelet rice.
Oh, okay.
Ota's omelet rice is so good it gives me stomach cramps.
Man, I love it when food gives me stomach cramps. It feels so delicious.
No, David, enough of that!
Is that a compliment?
You're embarrassing me.
Well, Ota appears to have taken it as a compliment.
But Ota's a weird kid, so I take it you've been here before?
Yeah, I have.
Have you met Ota's mother, Mayumi?
Yes, I have.
Probably not.
Yeah, but I don't think she likes me.
Like Mayumi slowly rises up from behind the counter with the floral knife.
That's not true. Mom is just jealous of how pretty you are, Tessa.
Not very reassuring.
It would sure be nice if she could just forget everything like she did in her own ending.
Yeah.
Just, you know, because at the end of that, she ended up liking Tessa.
Mm-hmm.
Whether out of jealousy or otherwise, she still doesn't like Iris.
So about the time I found your dead body and then you came back to life?
By the way, that's before we started hunting for the assassin together after visiting the Yakuza. And Ota's like, what?
Iris, about your coming back to life.
Hold it! What do you mean coming back to life?
I decided to tell Ota about Iris's resurrection, because the more people who think I'm crazy, the better.
To be fair, Ota is one of the few people that might actually believe it.
Date jumped into a parallel world where I'm still alive.
Tessa died?
I know, thank goodness for that microwave.
Yep.
Let's get to the brass tacks about world lines.
Hey, can you tell me about this parallel world idea in more detail?
Well, what you do is you start with the morphogenetic field, and then you get a bunch of A-B switches.
Oh, sure. How should I explain this? Well, oh, I know. Let's play rock, paper, scissors.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Here's the A-B switch, see?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, this one's an A-B-C switch, which is actually more complicated. It's not like as simple or as reliable as
But it's an easier to understand metaphor?
No, I was actually kind of making a deep-seated VLR reference. I guess I'd better just stop. I'm sure one other person got it anyway.
Yeah, if we tie, nothing happens. We just shake hands. If I win, you have to give me something.
What if I win?
I'll do anything.
Anything?
Date, please.
Mm-hmm. Anything.
Why is she moving her hands like that?
I think we all know why she's moving her hands like that.
Date, your heart rate is rapidly increasing. Why exactly is that?
All right, let's do this.
And here's what happens. You get to choose which one.
Okay, let's go.
Ota!
1, 2, 3, shoot.
See?
All right.
Now the thing is, you have to use the right type of thinking in order to win a game of rock, paper, scissors. But the only one that's hard is the very first one.
Yeah.
You see, you use a combination of reverse psychology and then reverse psychology and then reverse psychology, and you never ever go up against a Sicilian when your life is on the line.
Wow!
And all of this is to say you pick rock. I don't care what you pick.
I'm gonna pick rock.
Shoot!
A tie.
The most boring result. Well, we agreed on the rules. Let's shake hands. Shaky, shaky.
I shook hands with Iris.
Ota died inside.
We just played rock, paper, scissors, right? We tied and shook hands. But in a different timeline, maybe I got a reward from you.
I guess you'll never know.
Or maybe you could have seen me naked or something.
I guess we'll never know.
Date would have asked for something really weirdly perverted, like getting her to kick the bucket around.
Why did I choose rock?
What exactly were you going to make her do?
So those timelines are what I'd call a parallel world.
So you think I jumped from a world in which you were dead to this one where you're alive?
See, the thing is the idea that any possible thing could exist is meaningless because nothing like that would happen. You're not going to suddenly jump into a world where Date is the Prime Minister of Japan because there is no world in which Date would take the actions that would lead him to be the Prime Minister of Japan.
Right.
You're more likely to, or I mean, all of this is BS, of course, but you're more likely...
Well, we are BSG.
You got me. What you actually would find is a world where, presented with a choice where either option is plausible, Date would have made the other choice. For instance, he wouldn't have kept Iris waiting for the date because he would have refused to go on the date in the first place, in which case you show up at Lemniscate and Iris either isn't there or at the very least doesn't accuse you of being late.
Right.
Because that's plausible, right? Or like what Iris just did and is about to explain. And so the thing is in the event that you happen to want to create a whole lot of parallel worlds, you force a whole bunch of very simple left-right choices, see?
I see.
Because then you're making more plausible chances for someone to realistically pick one of two different options.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Huh. Parallel world, huh? I can't believe it, but...
Sure you can. Parallel worlds exist. Do you know about the Mandela Effect? Or the Booba Kiki Effect?
Oh, yeah!
I heard boob.
No.
Or the 100 million balls. If I explain that, would you believe me?
Sounds really interesting, Tessa.
I heard boobs and balls. I'm in.
I know some urban legends like that. The spatial temporal man, and the lost friend, and the story of two sisters.
I'm not really sure what he's talking about. I've heard people talking about it. The spatial temporal man?
Yeah, I haven't heard of any of these either.
Yeah, it's sort of like a common experience. A lot of people have experienced waking up in an uninhabited world they've never seen before.
Sounds like Lovecraft.
It does.
And most of them describe seeing the same person.
Hey!
The spatial temporal man. He's supposed to be an ordinary old man wearing work clothes. The spatial temporal man guides people back to the real world. He tells them, this world is not for you, or something.
I'd like to meet him someday.
The lost friend?
There's this kid, A. He's in elementary school. Well, A had this close friend named Suzuki. One day, after school, they're walking home together. A turns around to tell Suzuki a joke, and Suzuki is laughing his butt off. And he's laughing and laughing, and he laughs so hard that his eyes fall out of their sockets.
What?
Well, they were hanging down out of his eye sockets.
What the?
The nerves were still connected, but... A is of course in shock and doesn't know what to do. Suzuki just takes his eyeballs and jams them back into his eye sockets and keeps walking like nothing happened. So A asks him about it. Like, hey, are you okay? Your eyes fell out.
Are you some kind of monster?
A is really concerned for his friend, you know? But Suzuki just says, yeah, I'm fine. He doesn't say anything about it. And by now, A is really curious. But he's not getting any answers. So they just part ways and go home. The story only gets weirder from here.
Okay, that's fine.
The next day, A goes to school, and Suzuki's not there. A is confused and asks his teacher about it. Hey, where's Suzuki today? And the teacher says, Suzuki? Who's that? There's no Suzuki in this class.
This doesn't sound like it has to do with parallel worlds, but is rather a creepypasta.
Right?
A says, what are you talking about? And he goes and asks all of his classmates about Suzuki.
You know, he was the guy whose eyes would keep popping out, apparently.
They all say the same thing. I don't know him. There's no Suzuki in this class.
So that kid must have jumped into a parallel world without Suzuki.
That's what I think.
What does that have to do with his eyeballs popping out?
Okay, so how about this? To replace this lame story, I will present one to you. The Third Man. Have you ever heard of this?
I may have heard something like it, but the name itself does not immediately ring a bell.
Now, it doesn't have anything to do with parallel worlds or anything like that, but the Third Man effect is something that has been documented a couple of times in the same circumstances. For instance, people in extremely trying circumstances. I'll tell it like a story. Reinhold Messner, who is, if I'm remembering this correctly, the man who made the first solo ascent up Mount Everest, described a particularly unusual experience that he had as he was nearing the summit. As he was climbing, remember he made the first solo ascent of Mount Everest. Yeah, by himself. But he kept having this feeling that there was somebody else with him, somebody who was very comforting to him. And at one point, he stopped to take a break and he pulled out like a type of mint. And without thinking about it, he split it in half and turned around behind him and offered half of the mint. And of course, there was nobody there. And he was actually like, what? There's nobody here. I'm by myself. Okay, seems like an interesting, isolated incident, right?
Yeah.
But then we get...
See what you did there.
Then we get to Ernest Shackleton. Shackleton was the first man to describe this. He was like the British Antarctic explorer who got his whole group of like 100 and something people stranded in Antarctica.
Ugh.
They were stranded there for nearly a year. No one died.
Wow, that's impressive.
In order to save them, Shackleton and two others marched to a different part of the coast. They built a boat out of what materials they had, or they might have still had something like a dinghy, but I don't think they carried it. Anyway, they sailed across to an island, the South Georgia Islands, and essentially were trying to make their way to some sort of human habitation where they could
get help.
Yeah, where they could get help. And ultimately they did succeed. But we're talking Antarctic temperatures here, marching across the South Georgia Islands for like 36 hours without stopping. The entire way, Shackleton kept thinking that there were 3 people with him, not 2. And then talking about it later, each of the 2 men that were with him also said they thought there was a 3rd person there, hence the third man factor. And then after Shackleton wrote about this in his book, several other people came forward
with similar experiences.
It seems to happen primarily to mountain climbers, where it's very cold, and polar explorers, and there's some other thing that leads to it. The common factor, of course, is extremely harrowing, extremely long treks through the cold. But there are about 50 or so people who have reported that they kept thinking there was someone else legitimately with them. Isn't that interesting?
That's very fascinating.
Couldn't Suzuki just be an imaginary friend or something?
No, A was really serious about remembering Suzuki.
It is weird. And there's no way you can pop your eyeballs back in like that.
We are so far beyond that being relevant to anything, Iris.
Well, not necessarily. There's such a thing as a dislocated eye.
Oh! We're discussing dislocated eyes now, are we?
I have heard of people sticking their eyes back in, but this is a kind of a faint memory, so I'm not sure how reliable it is.
It actually isn't too hard to put your eye back in if it falls out.
Huh.
Ota is correct. Dislocated eyes are easy to replace in their sockets.
Public service announcement. Keep this in mind. It also isn't likely to hurt very much.
I'd rather not consider it at all.
As long as none of the nerves or blood vessels were damaged, there are usually no lasting negative effects either.
Huh.
Interesting.
That doesn't prove this Suzuki exists.
Well, I guess not, but...
Any other stories you got?
Well, no, this is a continuation of the other one.
So, this elementary school kid, let's call him C. He goes to school and there's a bunch of things on the floor. Postcards, towels, a coffee cup, rice bowls, a sink, lots of stuff. But C realized that those were all things from his own house.
How did they get to the classroom?
No one knows. It's not like anyone did it on purpose or there was a thief or anything.
Maybe something happened that made two parallel worlds fuse.
In which his house is where the school should have been? Oda, my friend, your stories, they need work.
Yeah, maybe.
What about the two sisters?
So, there's this girl. Let's call her B. She's practicing piano in her room. And her little sister is watching TV in the same room. B asks her to turn the TV volume down so she can hear her piano playing, you know? So B goes back to practicing, playing a little bit. But her sister doesn't turn the volume down. She's not listening at all. So B turns around to scold her. She was really gonna let her sister have it.
And her sister suddenly had the head of a ficus!
But she's gone. She's nowhere to be seen. She thinks, I wonder where she went. But then, B hears her sister at the door. I'm home! B runs to the front door and sees her sister and her parents standing there. So B asks, when did you go outside? But her mom says, what are you talking about? She went shopping with me. B is really confused by all of this, of course. She asks her little sister about it. And she learns that her favorite TV show was on. And before she went shopping with her mom, she was deciding whether or not she wanted to stay and watch it or not.
So depending on her decision, a parallel world was made.
Okay, that one was okay.
Yeah. What B saw might have been from the world where her sister stayed behind.
What else you got?
I know a ton of stories like this. Like being suddenly transported 1 year into the future. And there's a missing persons report out for you. You look down at your phone, but you realize that it's not yours. It's not the one you remember having. You look through the contacts.
Oh, that sounds like Steins Gate.
And it's filled with names you don't recognize.
Sounds scary.
There's more, too. Like this town where everyone is Japanese.
Excuse me?
But they're speaking a completely different language. And all the signs and magazines and stuff have different letters.
Okay, that makes sense now.
And it's not like Korea or China. It's the Japan we know, but the language is different.
That's a prime example of a parallel world.
Okay, well, that was kind of fun, I guess. But we should actually listen to the real ones.
The Booba Kiki effect?
I've heard of this.
Date, look at this picture.
I just don't recall the details.
Iris pulled up a picture on her phone.
Oh, yeah. Go on.
There's a famous experiment regarding this picture.
This is ridiculous. There's no reason for me to talk about it because they're about to explain it.
You show this image to people around the world and ask a question. Which one is Booba and which one is Kiki? Believe it or not, 98% of people asked have the same answer.
Okay.
The one on the top is Booba and the one on the bottom is Kiki.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
The rounder one is Booba and the jagged one is Kiki.
Huh!
I'm pretty sure this has more to do with how your brain interprets sound. For instance, there's a class of words...
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Such as bump or mud, like when doing a deep dive into etymology and like ancient Indo-European language, that seems to have come from sounds that were made, and it's like carried over thousands of years.
Huh, fascinating.
Isn't that weird? In other words, everyone thinks that Booba is a certain way, and Kiki is the other.
I'm not sure what this has to do with parallel worlds, but continue.
It applies universally across languages and cultures.
Hence why it's directly related to the brain and how it processes a certain type of information, primarily sound.
It's like something ingrained inside all humans.
I mean, it doesn't have anything to do with parallel worlds, but it's pretty neat, huh?
I guess we'll keep talking about the Booba Kiki effect.
Like worshipping the sun and the sea. Or thinking that the mother is soft and the father is jagged. Regardless of your culture or background, you probably think this way. It's what Jung called the collective unconscious.
Oh god, now Mementos is going to appear.
There exists a second psychic system of a collective, universal, and impersonal nature, which is identical in all individuals. That's what Jung said about it. Think of it like bamboo. Bamboo stalks look like individual plants since they're separated. But underground, they're all connected. Human psyches might be like that too, connected at a subconscious level.
Something morphogenetic field?
That's...
The parallel world?
Yeah! You saved me in the dream, right? And dreams are all about our subconscious minds. So if you follow the roots...
If you die in a palace, then you're dead.
You get to another bamboo stalk.
Yeah, something like that.
So the Mandela Effect. This one is very interesting. This one is about false memory. For instance...
Well, that seems like something kind of relevant.
Now I'm going to let Iris discuss the Mandela part of the Mandela Effect herself, but I will give you an example of the Mandela Effect that is not what she's about to discuss, okay?
Okay.
We are the same age. Like, I'm a couple months older than you, right?
Right.
That means we grew up at the same time.
Uh-huh.
There was this children's book series that certainly existed around the time we grew up and certainly existed before then, too. It was about a family of bears. Do you...
Berenstein Bears?
What was it?
The Berenstein Bears?
Okay. Most everybody remembers them as the Bernstein Bears. Well over 80% of people who know this. And in fact, you even said, what?
The Berenstein Bears.
But it was actually the Berenstain Bears.
Huh.
But virtually 100% of people across languages and cultures who understand what it is, I said virtually 100, it's over 80%, remember them instead as the Bernstein Bears. I didn't exactly articulate it particularly well, but this is cited as like a strong example of the Mandela Effect. Remembering something that doesn't actually exist.
Cool. Or kind of, I mean...
Remember, what's interesting about it isn't that one person has an incorrect memory.
But
it's that
shared.
This incorrect memory is so shared among so many people, it's used by advocates of like Jungian theory as like an example of a shared collective unconsciousness.
Do you know Nelson Mandela?
Yeah, this is about Nelson Mandela.
Well, yeah. The former president of South Africa. He helped abolish apartheid.
Mm-hmm.
He died in 2013, but a strange thing happened. When the news broke, people all over the world thought, didn't Mandela die in prison in 1980?
I.e., before he was released from prison and brought down apartheid South Africa.
Huh.
That's the Mandela Effect.
Why is it that millions of people thought he died in prison in 1980?
Oh, I assume she'll tell us. Is there a reason?
It's just that millions of people had the same incorrect memory. Why did so many people think this was the case?
Could it have been misinformation spread by his political rivals while he was in prison or something?
No one ever claimed he died.
Oh, okay then.
That's why this is unusual.
It's when your memory and history have discrepancies.
Go on.
There are lots of examples. Like the name of this kid's book with the bears having different spellings.
Oh my god!
Or people remembering that Kennedy was assassinated in a 4-seat car. But in our world, he was in a 6-seat car.
Huh. I thought it was a 4-seater too.
So did I.
Yeah, so did I.
Or that electric mouse from that video game. You probably remember the tip of its tail being black.
You're talking about Pikachu. Isn't it red?
It wasn't?
Nope, it's all yellow.
My life is a lie.
And the design didn't change.
Oh.
A humongous number of people having an identical memory that is false.
That spawned from nothing.
From nothing. Why? I mean, I'm not making a statement. I'm just saying, isn't that fascinating? And this is, an example she's using to talk about parallel worlds.
Lines from movies, company logos, historical events, and little things. The Mandela Effect is everywhere.
I think that the lines from movies bit... Now, this is actually one of my hobby horses. I'm not going to get on my soapbox and beat it around like the Kirk and green-skinned aliens things.
Or beat me up, Scotty.
Right. For instance, people think of the line, "Play it again, Sam," from Casablanca. But that line was never in it. But why do so many people remember that?
Why do you think that is?
Because those memories are from parallel worlds?
Reading Steiner.
That would explain it, I guess.
100 million balls?
I think I've heard of this one.
This world is full of really interesting stuff. But you know the most interesting thing of all?
But I can't place it, just like how I couldn't quite remember the Booba Kiki effect either until she pulled out the picture.
No, what?
That humans exist at all.
Oh, the fine-tuning of the universe. I don't have the math off the top of my head to discuss the fine-tuning of the universe.
I'm sure she's about to go into it.
Imagine a dial with 100 million settings.
Uh-huh.
The dial for the gravity coefficient is turned to this one particular setting. But if you were to turn it one turn off from one setting to another of the 99,999,999 settings, there would be no stars, there would be no planets, there would be no life, there would be no light.
Huh!
The universe developed in a very particular way to get here. If things were even slightly different, well, the galaxies and solar system and all of that might not have existed at all.
The rate of expansion of the universe would be too large, and so everything would have moved apart too fast before any...
Gravity could take hold?
Before any of the circumstances that led to the formation of stars and galaxies would have ever happened, so there wouldn't be any of them. And if it were the other direction...
Then they never would have gotten far enough.
Yes, more or less that, yes.
And that means humans would never be born. And even if everything happened exactly like that, the probability of human life developing is extremely low. And yet, here we are.
Now explain.
Imagine a box full of ping pong balls, labeled 1 to 100 million. Would you be able to pick out the 1?
No!
Not likely.
But what if there were 100 million of you?
Well, then one of us would definitely pick up the 1.
Exactly! The birth of humanity is so improbable that it's basically a miracle. But if there were multiple universes...
Then it wouldn't be strange that at least one of them had humans in it.
She is describing the anthropic principle. I may have underestimated her intelligence.
Okay, but if that's the case, then doesn't that mean that other parallel worlds are highly likely to not have developed life? Now it's time for the word of the episode. Summarize.
My brain hurts. I don't have any memories left.
When did you two get so knowledgeable?
Oh, I don't know.
Tessa is always writing about this stuff on the internet. That's why I decided to research it too. That's how I learned all this stuff. Oh, hey, I know about conspiracies and secret societies too. I find that stuff fascinating.
No lizard people. We can't talk about lizard people or they'll come and get us. Please send help.
If you want, we could talk about those.
Maybe next time. Now where's that omelet rice?
I think we've had enough info dumping. It's time for some rice dumping into my mouth.
Done!
Oda brought the dish over. laid out an omelet rice in front of me and Iris. Iris grabbed her spoon with a huge smile on her face.
Bon appetit!
She picked up a spoonful. No, actually, she tried to pick up a spoonful.
Eh? Huh.
Tessa, are you okay?
Well, that's an interesting reaction.
Yeah.
I'm fine. My hand slipped.
Uh-huh.
Let's eat.
Iris and I ate the omelet rice in near silence. There was no conversation. Just the sound of the spoon hitting the plate. The diner echoed with it. And before long...
Ah! Thanks for the food!
Iris was totally re-energized. Her face was back to her usual easy smile.
That was good.
Just file that one away.
Ota, your omelet rice is seriously the best.
I look forward to the stomach cramps.
Yeah, it was actually really good.
Aw, thanks. I owe it to my dad. He taught me well.
That's good to hear. I paid for the food and stood to go. Then I got walked over the back of the head.
You know, that's a good point. That is good to know about...
Let's get going, Iris.
About Ota's father teaching him stuff like that.
Thanks again!
Thank you! Come back soon!
It's just a nice little detail that we didn't get on the other route, you know? Right! Me out of brain!
We have brained as much as can be brained. More braining will happen, but it happened later.
Billy lost prepositions. No brain without prepositions.